So this is going to be a short video about where I'm thinking of kind of taking this project. So one of the things that I noticed when I looked at composers that use generative music techniques and things like that, they really think about how they present their music to audiences. And one of the biggest names out there is Brian Eno. So Brian Eno has done a lot of kind of film music and music for installations and kind of just music in general. And he uses a lot of generative music techniques and also builds apps with someone called Peter Chilvers, who helped from a kind of programming point of view. So we can see on here that there are a number of apps. One that's quite well known as Bloom, and you can see you get a really nice graphical interface to kind of use as the user to interact with the music. Another example could be Trope, which we can kind of draw things and then it interacts with the music. So it lets the audience kind of participate in the creation of the music, which is a really nice feature. And so I've been interested in kind of looking at with our project, whether we can build in the Watson Beat kind of generative technique into the app. I'm not sure, but we can definitely use the result of it within the app and get kind of the audience participating in using it. So one of the things that has come up recently in kind of April, just before I got started with this project, is I was asked to start an Apple Centre of Education in the UK, and they wanted someone coming from quite a creative background, which is why I got the job. And one of the things we've had to do is actually learn programming and app development, and it's kind of come in this really, really brilliant kind of time to kind of coincide with this project. So one of the things I've been working through is Apple's own course. So if you're an artist and you're thinking, I would like to explore app development, I would highly recommend, you're going to need a Mac, but getting books and searching for Develop in Swift. And then there are 3 courses. You've got Explorations, Fundamentals, and Data Collections. Explorations is the first kind of course, and they come as iBooks. If we load it up and have a look, the introduction, you can see it's all really nicely explained and laid out. You do need this program called Xcode, which allows you to develop apps on your Mac. And they even have like loads of exercises built into these really nice things called playgrounds to help you learn. And it's a really fantastic kind of course. And like I said, this is for beginners, so I'd never really done programming before, so I've basically learned from scratch using this. So this course is about, they recommend 180 hours. I'd say I did it in a lot less than that, but it still did take a lot of time to complete, so it is quite time consuming. So I completed Explorations in sort of through April, and then since then I've been working on Fundamentals and completed that recently. So this covers some of the same material but goes into a lot more depth and covers more advanced topics as well. But you can kind of see that you learn how to build an app from like a user interface point of view, as well as learning a lot of the code as well. So I thought I'd show you what it looks like so you can get the idea. So if we open Xcode, create a new project, and let's call it, we want to create an app, call it testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, maybe just a random number will be fine. And let's create it. So coming as a background as a musician, it's been quite interesting learning a lot of this and thinking how similar actually it is to learning music, learning to program and do app development. So for instance, if we wanted to create a app with multiple screens, we can do that quite easily. And you can see how like you could code all this, but as a creative type, I prefer to work graphically, so that's how we're going to work. So let's change the background of this second screen so we can tell the difference between it. So let's make it green. You can see if I select something, I get lots of options on the right here I can change. I can also add elements, so I use this add sign, and then I can go button, and I can add this. And this isn't a tutorial on how to use Xcode, it's just to kind of give you an idea as to what you can do. There are loads of fantastic tutorials out there on kind of YouTube you can look up if you want to actually get started with this. So this is show screen 2, exclamation mark. And I can just like hold control to connect this to that screen. And now when I press that button, it's gonna go onto that screen. And I can also add text. So I'm gonna add text. Hello. There we go. Hello. I then can select it. You know, and some of you that might be artists might be like, oh, I hate that font. Let's change it. And you can kind of do whatever you want with this stuff, really. So we could change it to that. Bold, and let's go 36 as the size, and then we can reposition it. There we go. And we can, if you open this and we get rid of that, you can see that you've got labels, buttons, these kind of segmented controls, text field, if we want the user to enter some text, then we could always add that in. The sliders, which could be really useful. I think the sliders are going to be really, really useful for me as an artist, because in terms of maybe like turning up or down like different elements of a piece of music could be done using sliders, which would be a really nice feature, and nice and smooth. Switches, turning things on and off as well. So you can see that there are like lots of different standard sort of interface elements, and you can also test what you build. So we could run this on a software simulator, or if you have a device that's an iOS device, you could also plug that in and test it on a real device. So we can see the software simulator is loaded. It looks pretty much like that. We've got hello, a text box that we could enter text in, and a slider, and we can click show screen 2 and we get screen 2. So like I said, this isn't a tutorial on how to use Xcode, but just to kind of give you an idea as maybe an artist type, that actually this stuff is pretty difficult, but it's not impossible for you to learn how to actually build your own app. And I think that's something that I want to explore with this project, is, you know, using kind of Watson Beat to generate music, but actually thinking, can we take that further and think about how we can make the experience of the audience more interactive, by building a custom experience for them in an app. And that's actually not as hard as what I thought it would be. I have been studying for quite a lot of time to get to the point where I'm at with it, and I've still got a lot to learn, but it's definitely something that you can achieve as an artist and a musician if you've got the time and the patience to put into it. So hopefully then we probably won't end up with something quite as nice as Brian Eno's apps and things like that, but that would be the idea, is to take the project in that kind of direction. So if you're an artist and you're kind of interested in this, then do get in touch, and I might have some advice that might help you kind of get off the ground with it moving forward. But I'd say those Develop in Swift books are a fantastic start, particularly Explorations if you've never done anything before. And like I said, there's so many YouTube tutorials out there that can help you kind of learn this stuff. It'd be great. So my next video will probably be going back to Watson Beat again, but I just wanted to show what I've been working on recently is actually learning app development. I only started in April. It's now late June, and the idea of kind of building these skills simultaneously, a bit like Brian Eno and Peter Chilvers. So you've kind of got the skills needed to kind of implement something like this, would be great by the end of the project.